No!
Hi, welcome to CNC Armory. Today we have CZ's 457 Pro Varmint Precision Chassis.
Like always, if you like our stuff, go ahead and like the video. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. And we also, if you want to support us in any way, we do have links to our Patreon and subscribe star links down in the description.
Currently at this moment we're supplying all the guns and ammo. But if you guys have any suggestions moving forward, as videos you'd like to see, guns you'd like to see us shoot, do a review on, also leave us a comment there, and we'll be active in responding to those comments. So this one is my personal rifle. I saw this one in a magazine that I had that had all of CZ's current offerings, and I really liked it. I liked the way it looked. Action shooting. Figured it'd be best to start with something in 22 long rifle. And I'm personally a CZ guy. I'll try not to let that interfere with our commentary on our guns in the future. I like the features of it, and obviously CZ is very well known for very good rifles and handguns, especially their bolt actions in the rifle side. I also picked the 22 because it's even in our sort of pandemic world, 22 is still fairly easy to find, and it's still fairly reasonable to price-wise. This CZ 457 obviously comes with their own proprietary chassis. It's made entirely out of aluminum. It does put it a little on the heavier side. I believe the 16.5-inch barreled version comes in at 7 pounds. This one's probably 7.5, 8 pounds. I did go with the 24-inch barrel. Figured that was going to be the best for precision. It has a 1 in 16 twist. It is suppressor ready. This does have a 3-way adjustable trigger. Now this is not unique to just this version of the CZ 457. All CZ 457s do have a 3-way adjustable trigger. You can adjust for weight, creep, and over travel. The majority of those settings, the gun does have to be disassembled from the frame. In order to do that, it takes a T25 screwdriver. There's two T25 screws, one right here and one inside the grip handle. The one inside the grip handle is a little harder to get to. You want to make sure that you've got a skinny screwdriver in order to reach that without rubbing on the handle itself. But with that does give you a ton of adjustability. CZ gives you enough room to make those adjustments that you can actually make the gun dangerous. So if you do have one of these or are looking to get one and you want to play with that, definitely make sure that you're somewhere safe where you can test those to make sure that you're not automatically firing around when you close the bolt. It comes with a Luth AR stock. The stock is 2-way adjustable. It does come with the tool right here in order to make those adjustments. Today we are not actually going to take this gun apart or make any adjustments to the trigger. This is out of the box factory settings. We have put some rounds through it today. We put the new scope on, got that sighted in, and just did some average testing to make sure that we were comfortable with where the gun's firing for this video today. One of the adjustments has just a hand set screw that allows you to do that. Another unique feature of this gun is the 60-degree bolt throw. Most of them have a 90-degree bolt throw. Most bolt actions do. This allows you to have a little bit more freedom with your scopes, to give you a little bit more room between the bolt and the scope when you're working the action. I personally like that. It does have firing pin notification at the very end, comes out as red. It sticks out to let you know that the gun is cocked. Does not let you know that it's loaded, but it lets you know that it's ready to fire. So assume, obviously, that if you close the bolt and you see that red indicator, assume that the gun is loaded. Price-wise, now this is a little bit more on the expensive side. I picked this gun up for $880 without tax. That is a little bit on the higher side for what you're going to find out of the box. Now, obviously, this gun is competing in a class where you can spend $2 to $3 grand or more for a home-built rifle setup for competition shooting. So with that noted, it does seem like a very good value, but there are some other competitors in there that will come in a little bit under this one, and that's something you've got to keep in mind. With the price point, another important thing to consider, CZ has their own proprietary mounting system for scopes, and initially when I first bought this gun, I did use scope rings that used that proprietary mount, and I just wasn't happy with it. I did end up finding an Area 419 scope base. It does raise it up. It's a 30 MOA, and it converts it to a Picatinny style. I do really like this, and it will allow us to be able to push this gun out range-wise much further than the previous setup would have allowed. But that also adds to the cost. I paid $100 for this scope base from Area 419. Shipping was fast. They did get it in about 2 or 3 days. Great turnaround from them. All in all, this package, as set up here, is pushing $1,200. Scope included, mount included, and the rifle included, and the bipod. It definitely does seem a little bit pricey to some people. I'm okay with it for what this gun is intended to be for. But as you guys will see coming up, we're going to do a head-to-head with the Ruger Precision, and we'll just have to see if the price is truly worth what the gun comes with. But today we're going to focus strictly on this gun, and now is about time for us to get to shooting. Do want to mention we're running Winchester Super X 37 grain. That is the entirety of what we're going to be shooting out of this gun today. We will throw some other ammo downrange with this in our upcoming video, but today this is what we're going to stick with. We are going to be shooting at a couple steel targets, so hopefully you guys will be able to hear it as well as see. We also got a couple other cans down there we might plink at here or there, but for the most part we'll be shooting steel today.
So this is going to be pretty much my first impression. I mean, you heard enough from the other Chris talking about, you know, all the different features and everything on it. I definitely don't have as much downrange as the other Chris does. So I guess let's see what we can do. Just the first impression when I pick it up, it has some good weight to it. It does have a good, nice grip. When you load the mag in, it does give you an audible click, so that way you know it's seated properly and there's no wiggle to it or anything. Bolt seems pretty nice and smooth, so let's see what we can do. Good first shot hit. Second shot. And that bolt is just butter. I'm actually going to aim for something else down there. I think there's a, yeah, got a little pendulum target down there. Ah, I missed. There we go. So when I'm missing, I think it's all me. I'm only missing by, you know, just an inch or less. So we got one mag left. I'm gonna see if I can hit the that pop can down there again. I kind of rushed that one. I can't even tell if I'm hitting the pop can because it could go just straight through it. That was high. Just high. Let's shoot steel again. Now, I guess the first impressions I get from it, I like the weight of it because it's easy to hold on target, whereas, you know, some other rifles might be, you know, not balanced very well. The Hawk scope we have on here, it does have the mil dots, so that way, you know, you can adjust for certain ranges, and it works out pretty good. But as far as the gun, I mean, I can't really complain too much. The trigger is pretty solid. It doesn't have the little dingus in it that some of the other rifles might have. The features that you wouldn't think about, but this indicator on the back of the bolt here, it really kind of tells you. It's kind of, I guess it's more of a safety thing, but you can kind of see it out of the corner of your eye when you're down on it, to know that, you know, that there is something in the chamber. It could be loaded. That's really pretty helpful, at least to me. Really, the only downfalls that I see is like all the extra stuff you got to purchase in order to, you know, to put a scope like this on it. So like the other Chris was saying, he had to get the extra rail to, you know, to mount this scope. Whereas before he had another scope on this gun, and I don't know if it's just the dimensions of my face or whatever, but I could not get my cheek down low enough to even see through the scope. I had to be, you know, pretty much all the way back here, and that's just not very good at all. As far as, you know, where, you know, if I would purchase this gun for myself, I don't know if I could really justify the price of it. I mean, for myself, for me personally, it's a great gun, don't get me wrong. But to have to spend that much, and then you still have to get all the extra stuff just to put all the, you know, to put a scope like this on it. And then, well, we do have a bipod here, which you didn't have to get any extra things for, but I don't know if I would purchase it for myself. As you saw probably in our last video, that, you know, I got the Ruger Precision that I looked in for myself. But as far as this one goes, I mean, I can't really complain too much. It's just that price.
All right, guys. Well, this obviously isn't my first time shooting this gun, but let's do a little bit of shooting here, and I'll see if I can give you guys my take on what my thoughts are on this gun. Start off shooting some steel. Should note that this gun only ships with one 5-round magazine from the factory. I do consider that a slight downfall, although that is pretty common for bolt action rifles in this category. I have purchased another 5-rounder and a couple 10-rounders. They are a little bit on the expensive side as far as magazines go, but again, that's kind of the price you pay to be in this particular category. Let's see if get this pendulum target down here. Should note that this rifle is sighted in at 50 yards. The scope is got predetermined spots for distance, going from 50 yards all the way down to 200. It already takes into account the drop of a 22 long rifle. I would assume that most of the misses that you'll see today would mostly be attributed to me or to Chris. Don't know how I managed to knock over the paint can with that. We'll say that 5 rounds goes by entirely too fast. Forgive us if we get a couple of the nomenclatures wrong when we're discussing this stuff. This is definitely a new area for both of us to be dabbling in. But I have to say it is a lot of fun. Should note that I didn't have to buy this. I could have went with a taller D-ring to raise the scope up a little bit, but I decided to go with this one specifically so that way sometime in the future it gives us the ability to really push this rifle out to its limits. I'm not sure that it's a 500 yard gun, but it should easily be in the 300 to 400 yard range. Probably not going to get to that this year, but I am looking forward to actually getting to see how far we can really push this in the future. Also note that with the bolt open, if you pay attention, you can see that there's a round here, hopefully to, you know, help those from doing any dry fires on here that aren't necessary. These mags are about 40 bucks a piece. I think I spent 44 on the 10 rounds, and it's like 30 something, mid 30s for the 5 rounders. This bolt is exceptionally smooth. Should also note that out of the box, like, this trigger is just amazing. Very little travel, very little creep. You're almost directly at the wall, and I would estimate it at just over 3 pounds out of the box. Eventually I'll do some playing with that trigger, but for our skill level, for what we're doing at the moment, there's really no need necessary to mess with this trigger. Very easy to manipulate that bolt with one finger. Now, I know that we're not shooting this on a bench. I mean, we're on a bench here, but I don't have a bench rest in the back here. It's all supported by hand, besides that bipod. And it is just exceptionally accurate. Like, I really can't say enough about this gun for me personally. Yes, it is a little bit on the expensive side. It is well worth the price to me. I think for anybody who's serious into getting into this, I don't think you can overlook this gun. Are there other guns out there that can compete with it? I'm sure there is, and we will get a heads up comparison to the Precision, this Ruger Precision. But for me, out of the box, like, everything included price wise, it is just a phenomenal firearm. Another thing that while I'm thinking of it, the safety is over here on the right side of the gun. It's just a push forward safety on the top of the action here. Very easy to manipulate, but in a little different spot for people who are used to, you know, something like an AR. But it's there, it's easy to work. The scope, while not cheap, not expensive, is very, very nice. Very clear sight picture. It does have some the ability to light up red or green. In today's lighting conditions, it doesn't really show up either way. Best just to leave it off. Yeah, those are my initial impressions. All right, guys, these are going to be our it's going to be about the last 20 rounds we're going to shoot out of this today. I honestly think the only thing I'd say in any negative way about this gun, other than maybe the price, which I personally didn't mind paying, the finish on the aluminum is a little easy to kind of scratch up. Our fingernail leaves marks in here. It does clean up pretty well. Rub your finger on there, maybe a little wet or whatever, it cleans that up right away. With that said, let's get these last 20 range down target and try and give you a little bit of our thoughts closing out, and hopefully give you guys a look into what the future holds. Miss. I never miss. Must be smaller than I thought. I don't know how many of you will get that reference. It does have a pretty strong ejection on this. Should also note that given its weight, and obviously not that 22 is really known to have a whole lot of recoil, but given its weight, while you might see the gun move a little bit, there's very little felt recoil. This is really close to shooting an air rifle, to be honest. Hopefully don't mind the train, or hopefully the wind isn't too bad for you guys today. We are outside. We have a little bit of a breeze. There's something about hitting steel, isn't there? There's something about using a bolt too. It's more engaging than a semi-auto. All right, guys. That's all she wrote. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. Please understand, we know we've got a long way to go to make this world-class video, but we're trying, we're learning, we're having a lot of fun. We hope you enjoyed being here with us today and watching this video.
If you have any comments, just leave them down below on what we can do to improve. I know that, you know, we have some limitations as far as location and equipment and stuff, but I mean, you know, like he was saying before, we're just getting started, so it's a learning process for us as well.
I'd like to give you our final thoughts on this, and then while we have hinted at it, officially let you know our next video is going to be a head-to-head with the CZ 457 Varmint Pro chassis rifle and the Ruger Precision 22 long rifle. There are some distinct differences between the two guns, and have to keep that in mind. Obviously, Ruger does not make anything close to a 24-inch barrel for theirs. Other than that, we should have a pretty good head-to-head. I'm really surprised no one else has done that yet, because both of these guns are direct competitors, and honestly, they're both great guns. We'll give you our honest thoughts in regards to both of them, and see if maybe we can declare a winner between the two. With that said, though, our closing thoughts, my closing thoughts on this rifle, yeah, the price is a little high. But is it really, when there's people are spending $2-3 grand or more? I'm building one that this could compete with fairly well. No, I don't think so. Sure, you can get a little sticker shock out of the box, but I think the gun is worth it. I think it has merit for it. Are there some things maybe I would have done a little different or would hope for? Sure. Maybe a little different design in the mags, or at the very least maybe a little less expensive. Again, that's nothing new for those of us in the gun world. It's not like, you know, nothing we haven't seen. With that said, though, I really enjoy this gun. It is a very fine shooting gun. Working the bolt action on this is about as close to perfect as I think a bolt action can probably get. Sure, you know, a gun twice its price might have something a little nicer, but really for its price range and the fact that you can get this this bolt in a much cheaper gun, it's hard to beat. It's hard to compete with that. CZ definitely knows what they're doing, and I'm glad that they brought this gun to the market in this configuration. With that said, we'll turn it over to the other Chris, and you can hear his thoughts, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
I kind of want to echo the same sentiments that Chris here said about it. The sticker shock is a little steep for me personally. You know, I think I said this before. I mean, but that doesn't take away from this gun. It's a great gun. So I mean, it's very well balanced. It's got some of the features that you would want in a a rifle of this style. The really in the shooting today, the best thing that I could do to make it a little better for myself, I would probably adjust the stock out a little bit. We didn't really have the tools available to adjust it today anyway.
We did, we didn't get it out. The tool is built into it. It comes with a little Allen screw. It's got a holder right here.
Well,
it's just, we're both using it and trying to get this to work for both of us. It's just set at a happy medium, but
as you can tell, this is not my gun, so I don't know all the features like Chris here does. So, I mean, it feels good to shoot. The bolt is butter smooth. The stock is, if it's adjusted well to you personally, or whoever wants to purchase this personally, it's comfortable to shoot. Obviously, with it being a 22, there's not going to be any kick or anything to it other than the price, and then the stock adjustment. I can't really complain much either, but for me personally, it's all about the price. That's just me. I would go with something like the Ruger Precision, like you'll be seeing in the next video. But as far as it shooting, I mean, if price was no object or money was no object, then I might go with something like this. Obviously, if money was no object, I might go with something a little more. But like I said, we'll see in the next video if this one will match up with the Ruger.
Definitely see if this one can win over Chris here from the Ruger, or vice versa. Obviously, we have both shot both guns, but to have them head to head, I think this is going to be a very exciting video for us to do, and hopefully for you guys to see. With that said, again, thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you guys soon.